It is recording. Okay. Wait, the practice test, you have to download it yourself.
Yeah.
Okay. That means I don't have a copy. Again, I'll just look this number up. So I will do all the problems of the practice test. And then don't forget you're handing in your homework tomorrow too. Okay, go ahead. Okay, so it looks like tomorrow you got 2 graphs, yeah?
Yep.
Okay, why? It's blank!
I got you. Look.
This is until blank.
What?
If your teacher is sick, you don't go like, it's not a holiday, you know. It's supposed to, didn't the note on there says keep up with your assignments?
It's not a jolly holiday.
Exactly. 1a, y equal e to the x minus 2. Okay, now the base, this is the base graph and then you just shift it down 2, right? So make sure you get the base graph. Okay, what is the base graph of something to the x power when the base is bigger than 1?
0, 1.
0, 1, and then it goes up like this, right? All you gotta do is bring the graph down 2. Can you bring it down 2? Let me see. Well, this point comes 1 and 2, and then instead of the horizontal asymptote being there, it's over here now. A y equal -2, so the graph looks like this. Can we or can we not do that tomorrow?
Can.
So if I change that to a +1, all hell's gonna break loose.
Kind of.
Well, then you're gonna have a hard time on tomorrow's test then. B. You don't even have it on the right page, or there. Y equals log base 2 of x plus 1. Okay, what is the base graph for the log graph? What's the key point?
1, 0.
1, 0, and it looks like this. So all you gotta do is shift it 1 to the left. Some of you still shifting it the wrong way. If it's in parentheses, that means it's gonna shift left and right. If it's outside the parentheses, that's up and down, right? Yeah, so this one, you just shift everything 1 left. So this point comes here. This vertical asymptote is here now. Some of you are not showing your asymptotes.
Wait, how do you know when it's 0, 1, or...
Because I took algebra 2b.
No, but how come that one's different from...
Because this is an exponential function. Exponential functions pass through the point 0.
Oh, okay.
Have we forgotten everything already? What is the
Kinda.
relationship between an exponential function which passes through the point 0, 1 and a logarithmic function which passes through the point 1, 0? What's
They're inverses.
They're inverses of each other. They're not the same graph, they're inverses of each other. Some of us still don't know the relationship. Which means, how many times have I done this? Okay, look, this is y equal b to the x, no, this is assuming b is greater than 1, yeah? This is y equal log base b of x. The relationship means they're inverses of each other, which means if you graph them, they will be symmetrical along the line y equal x. But more importantly, since they are inverses of each other, what happens when you plug one into the other?
You get X.
X. So if I take this and plug it in there, how many times have I written this on the board? And if I take that and plug it in there, you get X. Boom. You gotta know that. That was on the last quiz, right? I just passed out. Okay, don't answer me. Okay, next. It says find the inverse. I'll try to write a little bigger since this is being, why don't we just leave that on the board? 2a. Okay, find inverse. Y equals, so instead of f of x, you should put y there. Y equal 5x cubed plus 2. So change the 5 to a 2 and a 2 to a 7, all hell breaks loose. What's the first step when finding the inverse? What do you do? Yeah, this was on the first quiz that you guys did. You guys did pretty good at that, unless you did it. And then now, what's the next step? Solve for y. So how do you solve for y? How do I get rid of this 2? You subtract 2. How do I get rid of this 5? Divide. And to solve for y, how do I get rid of the cube? You cube root both sides. So cube root. And then can I just box that? That's my answer. Yes, you solve for y. Solving for y means you gotta get y equals. Everybody better get down. If anybody gets down wrong tomorrow, pick up triple.
It's not changes y to x.
Minus 18, huh? What? To find the inverse of a function, you switch the x's and y's, which I did, and then you solve for y. Wait a minute, this quiz was like over a week ago. That's the problem.
It's not my turn.
That's the problem. I'll give you a problem. B. Y equal 3x plus 7. So y equal 3x plus 7 over 2x plus 5. So if I just jumble the numbers, all hell breaks loose again. You don't remember giving you these first 4 problems on the first quiz?
No.
That's all I did is I copied and pasted it into the test. And then I changed the numbers. That's all. I don't know if you guys figured this out. Whatever I give you on the quiz, that's going to be on the test. You haven't figured it out by now. It's the end of the third quarter. Okay, so anyway, how do you find the inverse of this? You switch the x's and y's. So how many points you get for that?
1.
I'll give you 1.
Right on.
You want the other 5 points though? You gotta solve for y now. Now, maybe 2 more. How many problems on this practice test? 1 to 12, get 8 on the first page. How many on the second?
5. 5, but 4 has 6, so 11. No.
You don't know how to count the
one.
There's 16 problems. Okay, let's
7.
make them 5 points each then. So you get 23 points then. There's 18. Okay, 5 points each then, right? So you get 10 free points. Oh, that's not enough.
Yeah, 10 free points.
Okay, I was gonna say I was gonna give you more, but no, the 10 is fine.
No, 90
Okay,
points.
you get 1 point for this.
Damn.
You want the other 4 points, you gotta solve for y. How do you solve for y? Because there's y here and y there. What do you do? Cross multiply. Put all the y's on one side, bring all the y's on, so anything with a y in it, you bring it on the left. Anything without a y, you throw it on the right, like that. Now what? Factor out the y, just like we did on the first quiz. And then divide. Y equal negative 5x plus 7 all over 2x minus 3. Box that, that's the answer. Yes! That's how you find the inverse of anything. I'm going to erase this already. Okay, we're moving on to number 3. Number 3. Oh, some more. Find inverse. Y equal, we're not even on number 3. Y equal 4 times 3 to the x plus 2. Oh, now we're getting somewhere. Plus 5. Okay, first step, switch the x's and y's. Oh, I got 1 point, Mr. Park. Now we have to solve for y. Now notice that it's in the exponent, right, the y. So what do you think you're going to use here? Rhymes with logarithms. Okay, so first step, how do I get rid of this 5? Subtract. So this is just algebra 1. How do I get rid of this 4? Okay, now, once you get here, what do? You change it to log form. This means the same thing as log base 3 of x minus 5 over 4 is equal to y plus 2. Because remember, when you have log form, doesn't that mean 3 to the this equals this? Remember, 3 to the this equals that, which is the same thing as this. And that's the key to working with logarithms. You got to be able to change back and forth between exponential and logarithmic forms. Yeah.
Could you do ln x minus 5 over 4 equals y plus 2?
Yes, you can.
Alright.
But I didn't teach that way.
Oh.
But you can, and if you did it, you would be correct. Okay, and last step, what's the last step to solve for y? How do we get rid of this 2?
Minus 2.
Yeah, you just minus 2 now, so log base 3 of x minus 5 over 4 minus 2 equals y. Box that, that's the answer. You bet your sweet bippy it is. See how easy this is? D. Y equal 2 log base 3 base 5 of x plus 3 See how I just throw numbers in and then tomorrow I just change them? Come on. Okay, what's the first step to finding the inverse? You switch the x's and y's. Can everybody at least get the 1 point? So you don't, like, you can, never mind. Okay, now we gotta solve for y. How do I get rid of this 4 here? You minus 4. How do I get rid of this 2? Divide. Come on, come on. Okay, now, once you get to this step, see how this is log form? Change it to exponential form. What does this mean? This means 5 to the what power? 5 to the this equals that. So you just change it. 5 to the this equals that. And then how do you solve for y? Subtract 3. So y equals 5 to the x minus 4 over 2 minus 3. And then we'll credit. You have to be, okay, here, some of you, this is the key to pretty much the whole test tomorrow. Log base b of a equals c. That's logarithmic form. What is exponential form? B to the c equals a. B to the c equals a. That's the key to this whole chapter right there. You gotta be able to go back and forth between these two. I think I told you guys that the first time we learned it, didn't we? Yeah, but we don't listen to you. Hush your lips. Okay, next. Simplify. Come on, that's like from the quiz. It's an insult to your loins. Log 500. Oh, but Mr. Park, there's no base here.
10.
Yeah, well, when there's nothing there, it's 10, right? If it's LOG. And so if you want to go ahead and write it, go ahead. Make my day. Maybe you should write it in. Okay, now, you gotta know your 3 properties of logarithms and then the change of base formula. Here, let me write it down for the video. So here are your 3 properties of logarithms. Log base b of m plus log base b of n is equal to, well actually your book uses capital M and N. I'm not gonna resort to that. Log base b of m times n. When you multiply, then they're added. And you gotta be able to go back and forth, yeah? Log base b of m minus log base b of n is equal to log base b of m over n. And then log base b of m to the nth power is, what can you do with the power? Put it in the front. And then the change, let's just write the change of base formula. So log base b of a. Now let's say you have a log and you don't like its base. You can change it to some other base. Log base c of a over log base c of b. The top number goes on the top, the bottom number goes on the bottom. Oh, that sounds familiar. I think I mentioned that about 5 times. There. These are the properties you gotta know. Okay, so look. Ooh, I get log something plus log something. So if I want to make just one logarithm, what am I going to do with these 2 numbers? You multiply them. That's this one right here. Log m plus log n is log m times n. What's 500 times 2? 1,000. And is this a number I know?
Yes.
Because, okay, what is this equal to? Why don't we call this x? What does this mean? 10 to the what power equals 1,000? 10 to the 10th power is 1,000. 10 to the 3rd power is 1,000. 10 to the 3rd power is 10 billion. Okay, whatever. Next one. Okay, log base 2 of 48 minus log base 2 of 3. Okay, now notice that they're subtracting, so if you want to make just one logarithm, what do you do with the arguments? You divide. So 48, oh, maybe I should write it. 48 over 3, of course we know is 16. So this means 2 to the what power equals 16? 4, that's your answer. Right, 2 to the 4th power, 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 is 16. Yeah. Here, let me box that for you, for your viewing last 2-3 days. It's a holiday. It's a jolly holiday for Mary. Is that what it is? Okay, next. This is worse than my calculus class. Only one person. I actually made a video for them. Only one person watched it. Log base 7. Somebody read it out to me. Log base 727 times.
Log base 37.
Okay, now notice that the logarithms have different bases, so what do you think we're gonna do? Change the base. Now, you can change it to any base you want.
Natural log.
Okay, let's do natural log. So, natural log 27 over natural log 7. See how the top number goes on the top and the bottom number goes on the bottom? Natural log 7 over natural log 3. Top number goes on the top, bottom number goes on the bottom. So easy. Okay, but now you gotta simplify. Hey, ho. And natural log 27, why would I want to write that as 3 to the third power?
Now you have a comment, and you can put it in
Because
front.
you can put the power in the front. And then googa, the answer's 3. So tomorrow, I'm just going to give you different numbers, but it's going to be the same result. You know what I mean? Once you change the base, some things can cancel out. And the reason why you want to write it as powers is you can put the power in the front. It's like you forgot everything. That's why you're supposed to keep up. So what if you played sports? Your coach got sick. What are you going to do? Let's just stop. Everybody stop doing everything. Just stop. Just watch TV already. Leave. What would happen if you were playing, let's say just make up a sport, softball, and then your coach got sick or something, so everybody just watch TV, and we'll play the game the next day. Okay, anyway. 4A. Gotta stay in shape. What happens if somebody read me the problem.
2 to the x minus 1 times b to the x minus 2 equals 4 to the 3x plus 1.
Okay, come on, we did this on the first quiz. We had the same problem, we just changed the numbers. How do you solve this problem?
Change the bases.
No, they have a common base.
Oh yeah, that's what
2,
I meant.
see,
That's what I meant.
that's what you meant? Okay, 8 is 2 to the third. So this is the easy one, because you don't have to use logarithms, because they all have a common base. Right, and 4 is 2 squared. And then now you just use your properties of exponents. This is algebra 1, man. So 2 to the x minus 1. Now what do you do with the exponents when it's outside the parentheses? Rhymes with multiply. So you multiply there. 6 plus 2. Now what do you do with the exponents here when you're multiplying? Rhymes with mad. You mad them. So 4x minus 7 equals and then 6x plus 2. And then now you just use common sense. If 2 to the gorilla equals 2 to the banana, gorilla equal banana. And how do you solve for x? Put all the x's on one side, bring this over, divide by 2, x equals negative 9/2. Bob said that's the answer. Yes. B. Okay, now this one, they don't have a common base. 3 to the x equal 5 to the x plus 1. Now, what happens when they don't have common base? Then you use logarithms. So we had a problem like this on the homework. What do? You log both sides. Now, it doesn't matter what log you use. You can use base 3, base 5, base 10, base e, which one you want to do. Natural log. If you don't know what to do, just use natural log. That's the best one. Now, why do you natural log both sides? Because what can you do with the powers?
Put it in front.
You put it in the front. Once the power drops to the front, when you drop this thing down to the front, now you reduce an algebra 2 problem to an algebra 1 problem. So, just solve for x now. Distribute the times. Put all the x's on one side. Shall we just bring it on this side? Bring all the x's on the left, or you want to keep it to the right? Too late, I'm bringing it on the left. You guys can't even decide. Now what? Factor out the x. You know, I don't give you guys any problems that's above and beyond the homework, you know. Some of you are looking like, what, we did this before? X equals to divide ln 5 over ln 3 minus ln 5. Cancel the ln 5, so you get blank over ln 3 minus.
No.
No, this is the answer here, fool. Nobody will take a 4 for you guys, anybody does that tomorrow.
Sounds good.
If anybody does that tomorrow, I'll take off 20, minus 20. And then one problem. Ah. Okay, next, we're making progress.
Log 4.
Okay, somebody read it to me. What is this a new number?
C, not C.
Log base
4. X plus log base 4. X minus 2 times C equals geometry.
Okay, now what you want to do is combine these into one logarithm. So this is the same thing as log base 4 of what? What do you do when you add? You multiply them. And the reason why you want to make one logarithm is because now, how do you change this to exponential form? Doesn't this mean 4 to that equals this? So 4 to the 3/2 power equals x squared minus 2x. Now, what is 4 to the 3/2? How do you compute that? I told you that. What do? You cube it first, or do you want to 1/2 power it first? You 1/2 power it first, and then you cube it. So what's the square root of 4? And then you cube it. It's 8. Always do the denominator part first. Make the number smaller, and then you raise it to the power. And then what kind of equation is this? It's quadratic. So you make one side 0. And look, it's factorable, or do I have to use quadratic formula?
Factorable.
Do you think I'm going to make you use quadratic formula tomorrow?
No.
Well, no, then you thought wrong. X and x, 4 and 2, minus plus. Well, it just depends on this. If the practice test get quadratic formula, then you expect to use quadratic formula. So x equals 4 or negative 2. Box that, that's the answer. No. Whenever you have a logarithm, remember the domain, this thing gotta be positive. So if I plug in 4 here and here, are both of them positive? If I plug in negative 2 there, but well, once one of them is negative, you have to cross it out. So the only answer is 4. Anyway, if you don't cross off, I'm only going to take off 1. So 99 is a darn good score, right? Take the 99. Okay, D, read it to me. Mike, what log base what? And then,
X plus 2.
and you know what I think? I think there's going to be a minus there. Because if I make one problem with plus, the other one got to be minus, right? Log base 9. 2x equals
Negative 1/2.
negative half. Okay. Combine this into one logarithm. What do you do when you're subtracting? You divide the arguments like this. Again, that's using the 3 properties of logarithm. And once you get it to that form, you just change it to exponential form. What does this mean? 9 to this power equals that. So 9 to the negative half. See how easy this is? There's no tricks here. Pre-calculus honors, tricks. Algebra 2 honors, tricks. Algebra 2b, no tricks. Now, what is 9 to the negative half? That means 1 over 9 to the 1/2. 1/3. And come on, what you get here, this is algebra, this is pre-algebra here. Cross multiply, so 2x minus 1 equals 3x plus 6. Put all the x's on one side, so x equals negative 7. Come on, that's an insult to my loins. And to yours too. Okay, next, we only got 4 problems to go. We're going to make it. Run toward the light. Natural log. X plus 2. Minus x plus what?
8.
Equals 0?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, now you want to combine these into one logarithm. I've got 3 here. So just do 2 at a time. Do these 2 first. What do you do when you add? You multiply. And then what do you do when you subtract? Now, some of you already, you can just go from the first to the third step already, right? You don't have to. But I don't care what you do, you gotta get there. Can do? Look, when you're adding them, see how they're multiplied together, and you subtract and you divide. Doesn't matter how many you have. Okay, now, what's the base here that's not written? E. So once you get to one logarithm, change it to exponential form. E to this power equals that. E to the 0 equals this over that. And now it's just algebra 1. What is e to the 0?
1.
So this is 1. And then of course you start multiplying out. Then you cross multiply, so you can get x plus 8 equal x squared minus 4. And it's quadratic, so you make one side 0. X squared minus x minus 12. Is that factorable? You bet your bippy it is. X minus 4, x plus 3. So x equals 4 or negative 3. Box that, that's the answer. No! You have to check. Whenever you have a logarithm, the argument must be positive. If I plug in 4, 6, 2, and 12, are those positive numbers? Yes, but if I plug in negative 3 plus 2 is not positive, so you're going to cross it out already. Also, I'll get another minus 1 if I don't cross out Mr. Park. I'm going to go get 198 tomorrow. You got hard luck. Okay, next. Oh, just scribbling furiously, right? 2. Somebody read it to me. 2 to the 2x.
Minus 12 times 2 to that. Plus 32 equals 0.
Okay, right before, I remember that, you know that extended period? We did this, remember? How you did this problem? Use substitution. Whenever this power is double that power, and then remember I told you I was thinking of a bonus problem? Put 3x and then do synthetic division. You guys forgot that yet? I don't know. Well, it's not going to be on the regular test because it's not on the practice test, right? Might be a bonus problem. Remember I said that?
Yeah.
You guys don't want that. So u equals 2 to the x. So this becomes what? U squared minus 12u plus 32 equals 0. Is that factorable? Yeah. So what is that? U minus 8, U minus 4. So U equals 8 or 4. Box that, that's the answer.
No.
No, you got to resubstitute back in. So 2 to the x is equal to 8 or 4. But look how nice I am. 2 to the what power equals 8? 2 to the what power equals 4? 2. Do I have to check my answers? No, because there's no logarithms. The only time you have to check is when you have logarithms. I don't see any logarithms here. No need to check. Okay, next. Oh, now we got the word problem. Okay, now remember, I'm going to give you the formulas, right? I told you that, right? What is this formula used for? Which one is this? Yeah, which one is this? Okay, this is when you compound interest a finite number of times per year, right? Like if you compound interest quarterly, n would be 4. Weekly, 52, n would be 52. Monthly, n would be 12. Okay, this is if you compound interest an infinite number of times a year. This is called continuously compounded interest. So you can probably guess, one of them I'm going to use this, and one of them I'm going to use that. Just make sure you do the right one. So it says, okay, $2,000, annual interest rate 4%, and you're going to compound interest quarterly. So if you're going to compound interest quarterly, which formula do you use?
The first one.
Okay, so the amount of money you get is equal to principal, is your initial
2,000.
investment, which is what? I forget it.
2,000
$2,000.
over
1 plus, what was the interest rate?
4%.
4% quarterly to the, how many years we're leaving it in? Oh, wait.
It doesn't tell us how long we're leaving it
says using the phone. Oh, it says compute how long it would take the investment.
To triple.
Where does it say that?
So wouldn't.
Oh, there, triple. Oh, so if you put in $2,000 and the thing triples, what does it become?
6,000, so A is gonna be 6,000.
Yeah, so you plug in 6,000 here. Okay, so, oh, so you have to solve for t then. Okay, now I remember giving this test last, yeah, you guys did it at homework too, but I remember. Okay, just don't make the same mistake last semester's class did. Before you can, you know what they do? They log both sides and then they put it in the front, but see, this power only belongs to this now. So before you log both sides, you gotta divide by the 2,000 first. Huh? So divide by 2,000 and you get,
3,000.
no, you get 3.
Oh, shoot. That's what I meant.
1.04 to the 4 to the 4t. And now look, the variable is in the exponent. So what did you do?
Natural.
No, you can natural log, but what have we been doing? If it's exponential form, change it to log form. This means the same thing as log base 1 plus 0.04 over 4 of 3 equals 4t. Because doesn't this mean this to the that equals this? Which is the same thing as this, you're just going backwards. And then now, to solve for t, what do? You divide by 4. So t equals log base 1 plus 0.04 over 4, 3, all over 4. And since I'm not going to let you use a calculator tomorrow, just leave it like that. Good. Strike 1, Nakamura. Hood. There's no hoods in school. Strike 2 just for that.
Oh, you're getting close.
Okay, B. Here's the last problem, just in time too. Okay, but now what happens if interest is compounded continuously? That means you use this formula. So what do I plug in for A? You can plug in all the same numbers. Okay, it's 6,000 because you want it to triple. So tomorrow, what if I said double? Or what if I say fourple?
No, it's not even real.
Well, if this is 2,000 and it fourples, then that's 8,000, right? If I say double, then that's 4,000. What if I say triple? Then that's 10,000. E to the, what do I plug in for R? 4%. So tomorrow, what if I change it to 5%? All hell's going to break loose? Okay, well then all hell's going to break loose. Okay, now how do I solve for t? What should I do first before you even do anything? Divide by the 2,000, which I'm sure you did on your homework, right? Okay, now once you get it to this form, just change it to logarithmic form. This means the same thing as log base e of 3 equals 0.04t, right? Because e to the that equals that, which is the same as that, right?
So
Divide by 0.04, so t equals, now we don't write log base e3, what do we write? Natural log 3, it means the same thing, but it's just awkward if you do that over 0.04. Yeah, it's mathematically gauche if you do that. You laughed at it in the dormitories. Nobody writes log base e, because that's natural log. Just like nobody writes log base 10, right?
What a joke.
Yeah, exactly. So just leave your answer. Oh, maybe, you know what? Maybe I should make you punch this in on your calculator.
No.
I'll give you one. You didn't know how to punch it in on your calculator? You gotta change the one. If you don't know how to punch it down, that's kind of sad, right? But remember I told you, your calculator only has base E and base 10 on it, right? So you gotta change the base. Okay, never mind. You do that in pre-calculus then. Okay, I did every single problem for you. You just gotta be able to repeat it, can you? With different numbers. Okay, so this thing is on video now. I better see some views. It's not like calculus, one view.
Oh, Mr. Park.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, to give me enough time.
You got 1 minute?
Can we do a really quick problem? 3 to 2x.
Say that again?
3 to 2x.
Oh, that's a homework problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a U substitution. In fact, let's put it right here with the other one.
But it's
3 to the 2x
plus 3 to the x plus 1
come on equals
minus 4 and equals 0.
okay, the key, okay, this is a u substitute. Well, here, this is the key. Isn't that the same thing as 3 to the x times 3 to the 1? Because when you multiply, you add the x1. It's not really a trick, but. So isn't that like this? Which is like the problem I gave you, right?
Oh.
Except I added the exponents just to kick it up a notch. But am I going to do that tomorrow? No, because that's the way it was like this.
Yeah, don't ask like
So you just make u substitution, you make a u substitution, u squared plus 3u minus 4 equals 0. I got 30 seconds. Is that factorable? You bet your dinky it is. So u equals negative 4 or 1. Box that, that's the answer.
No.
No.
Check.
Oh. No, not check. You're going to resubstitute. 3 to the x equals negative 4 or 1. How come I cross out negative 4?
Because you can't have a negative
Yeah, because
exponent.
3 to a power will never be negative. That's just ludicrous. So 3 to the what power equals 1? 0. Yeah, but tomorrow, I'm not going to make you do that extra step. Tomorrow, this is the way it's going to be written, right? There's no tricks. Okay, so think, there's no tricks. This is 2B, not 2 honors. So tomorrow, if I go on here and I don't see any views, no free points.